Ugh. New angle because I'm over fighting with the wall. Oh, jeez. That was scary. Imagine I just start this video off by breaking my pinky. Any hooser, is it Blade Show 2025 yet? Man, Mirko looks good, but she is itchy. Just look at that though. Damn! Greetings all you throat goats, DenDenBMX here. I'm very pleased to tell you that I have finally ordered a real camera. Yes, I am very glad that this is going to be the last video where I have to fight with this poopy ass Samsung camera that started losing its mind whenever I painted my wall black. Is it racially motivated? I'm starting to think so. Yes, I have ordered a new camera and it should get here soon, just not soon enough for this video. But anywhooser, before I went to Blade Show, there was one Balisong that I reviewed. It was this little guy. This is the Extrusion from Nabalis. Much like the Squiddy Al, the Nabalis Extrusion is a Balisong made out of aluminum handles and an aluminum blade. Unfortunately, when it came to this version of the Extrusion, it was a bit slippery. And by a bit slippery, I mean, I couldn't keep it in my hands. So unfortunately, despite how much I love Nabalis, I couldn't really give this thing a very good review. However, shortly after uploading my video on the Extrusion, Nabalis followed your mother's footsteps and slid into my DMs. And really all they said was, "We're sorry you didn't like it. We'll send you the new version right away." And so I was like, okay. So I ended up going to Blade Show and I came home to the package waiting for me. But the package didn't just come with one updated version of the Extrusion. I came home to two of them actually. Isn't that quirky? And surprisingly, all three of them have a different handle pattern. So since I didn't have enough time to get some B-roll in my previous video on the Extrusion, let's get some nice pretty B-roll of both the old Extrusion and the two new ones so you guys can see the designs on each of them. B-roll. Engage. That felt so goddamn cool. Real quick before we continue, I just want to thank you guys for all the recent love and support you've shown me on all my videos. It really just rearranges my guts with love. As always, if you guys go on to enjoy this video, definitely let me know and help out the engagement on this video. Help me compete with all the other Balisong channels by leaving a like, leave a comment, give me your thoughts and opinions, share the video around. And if you regularly watch my channel and you haven't subscribed already, then I'm gonna extrusion you from life. We are on the road to 20,000 subs and we are getting just so viciously close. I can smell it, and it's an aphrodisiac. I also appreciate Nabalis sending me 3 of the exact same Balisong, which they really didn't have to do. They could have just sent me the purple one and been like, oh, you don't like it? Well, you got it for free, so shut the fuck up. But despite them sending me all 3 of these for review, all thoughts and opinions are always my own. Now, what exactly is different from the version 1 to the version 2 of the Nabalis Extrusion? They both have channel 6061 aluminum handles. They both have 7075 aluminum trainer blades. They both have press fit Zen pins. They both have the same adjustable weight system at the end of the handles. They both run on bronze phosphorus washers and both have very finely tuned bushings. As you can hear, neither of them have tap. This one barely has any play, and this one also barely has any play. They are both made using an extrusion process to mill the handles and the blade. Hence the name, the Extrusion. Now, according to Nabalis, the extrusion process is a little bit more environmentally friendly compared to other methods, mainly because it produces a lot less waste. Therefore, overall, they're using less aluminum to produce these. The version 1 released at $50. The version 2, I believe, is going for the exact same price. Now, you're probably staring at me through your screen going, okay, what's the difference? There is only a very slight difference between the version 1 and the version 2 of the Nabalis Extrusion. But that small little change makes a world of difference when it comes to the grip on this Balisong. As you saw in the B-roll, pretty much the entirety of these Balisong's handles are texturized. But on the version 1 of the Extrusion, the texturing on especially the corners of the Balisong was not very pronounced at all. You can see that that area of the handles does have texture, but when you're flipping it, you couldn't really feel it. And since it's so rounded and it's aluminum and it's anodized at that, it resulted in the Balisong being very, very slippery. So all they did for the version 2 is they just made the texturing on that part of the handle just a little bit deeper. Deep enough for it to make an enormous difference when it comes to grip. When you look at the version 1 and the version 2 together, you may or may not be able to see that the texture is just a little bit more pronounced. This version of the extrusion has borderline no grip. However, the version 2 of the extrusion has all the grip. Once you flip the version 1 and the version 2 side by side, you can tell that the version 2 is much more ribbed for my pleasure. Speaking of flipping them, let's go do that, because I'm tired of sitting here and just talking. I'd much rather stand up and flip and keep talking. Guys, it's not even funny how much better this new version of the extrusion is. I have been flipping both of the new versions non-stop ever since they got sent to me, and I've been having a blast. This thing is so much fun now. Yeah, now that I don't have to put all my effort into making sure this thing isn't gonna fly out of my hands, and I can actually just like focus on having fun and flipping this thing. Oh my god, dude. Oh, there we go. Triple scissor. Got a little squirrely at the end, but we got her done already, boys. Man, this thing is so much fun now. I think on these new versions, they ran into a little bit of an issue with the anodizing. So right now, the new version's only available in this silver, like, bare aluminum color. But I think it looks pretty dang cool. Like, especially while you're flipping it, I think it looks so neat. So after I went to Blade Show and I realized just how good like all of the community is at flipping, really made me want to like update my flipping skills a little bit. And I've been working on a couple little things here and there. But yeah, just like Will, I do want to start like catching up with all the tricks that everyone's doing nowadays and become a little bit more of a competent flipper. I felt quite outclassed in like everything once I went to Blade Show. And I know my flipping has never really been like pro level or anything like that. But I just kind of want to step it up a little bit. At least just like be constantly trying to like learn new tricks. And once I got these two new extrusions, I've been playing around with a couple different entrances into a scissor. Like doing this weird like upside down aerial into scissor. Maybe if I use the right side. Let me see if I can do it into another scissor. That's when it gets weird, because you have to like reverse the way the balisong's going. You have to like catch it just the right way and stop it just in the right spot and then go into the other scissor. Sorta. Yeah, that's kind of the gist of that one. And then another entrance into a scissor that I've been working on is a reverse parabolic into a scissor. That one's a little bit easier to do. That one I can get a little bit more consistent. That one feels good. See if I can do that to like double scissor. Almost. I don't even know if you guys will be able to see this. I get pretty low. Kinda like that. Like it needs to be a little bit more fluid, but that's the idea. Those are just a few things I've been working on, messing around with. And now that I can actually just have fun flipping this balisong, I can focus more on the weight balance of this thing and like really get used to how it flips. Ooh. Oh, I did it right there, but probably wasn't in camera. So speaking of the balance on this balisong, it does have a modular weight system here at the ends of the handles. So out of the box, it comes with the smaller spacers already installed. And then it has two like heavier spacers that you can throw on there. And on our video about the V1 extrusion, I didn't switch the weights because my issue with the V1 was not the weight, it was the gripability of it. So adding more weight really wasn't gonna help. But now that these new versions are plenty grippy, and they sent me two of them, I have one with the normal spacers on, and I have one with the heavier spacers on. And the one I've been flipping is the one with the normal spacers. And yeah, in the last video I was saying this balance was a little weird, but now that I can actually flip this thing and it's not flying out of my hands at Mach 7, it's more neutral. There's a tiny bit less momentum, but it's really not that bad at all. But let's grab the other version. So this one has the heavier weights in, and it is a noticeable difference, but it's not a crazy, like, insane difference. Like if you pick them up side by side, you'll be like, oh yeah, this one is a little bit heavier, a little bit more handle biased, especially at the ends. But I don't know, it's not like a crazy huge difference. Oh. Caught that in a scissor. Let's try the scissor entrances with this balisong. Sorta. Woo. Yeah, that feels pretty dang good when you get it right. Now for the parabolic entrance. Oop. Okay, this one might be a little harder on this one. Oh, there we go. Sorta. I want to get it real smooth to where I just throw it in and just instantly do the double scissor. But yeah, I can flip both balances about the same. Like it really didn't take me long to get used to either of them because it's not a huge difference, like I said a second ago. Let's try something. But yeah, this balisong just feels so much better now. It is an awesome balisong now. I really enjoy this thing. This might be like my current favorite aluminum flipper now. It's so much better. And they didn't even make a crazy huge change. They just made it to where you can actually feel the texturing on the corners of the handles, and it's like a world of difference. It went from being one of the slipperiest aluminum balisongs I've ever tried to now being one of the grippiest aluminum balisongs I've ever tried. It's a little bonkers. Yeah, when we pick up the purple version, the V1 version, it's like you could just instantly feel how much slipperier it is. And like, yeah, I can still flip it, but I'm much more focused on making sure it's not going to fly out of my hands. But if you flip a version 1 and then pick up a version 2, you will feel the difference just like instantly. It's kind of crazy. Now overall, I think this balisong has been vastly improved with this small little change. But one thing that I am noticing, the blade is slapping the inside of the handles every now and then. Maybe you'll be able to see the little mark. The little mark's like right about there. And that's from the blade slapping the insides of the handle. And yeah, that's happening on both of these new extrusions that Nabalis sent me over, which isn't the end of the world, especially considering this is like a $50 balisong. But I do want to say that I am experiencing it on both of the new versions of the extrusion, but that has not been happening on my version 1 of the extrusion. However, someone did reach out to me saying that their V1 extrusion is also slapping on the inside of the handle. Speaking of which, huge kudos to Nabalis for pulling a BB barfly with just like the speed that they changed the extrusion. Because I made my video and I was like, yeah, it's too slippery for me. And then like a couple hours later, they're like, all right, we're sending you the new version now that should be grippier. I was like, damn, that was fast. So when it comes to the 2 weight options for the extrusion, I'd say the lighter weights that come stock are for your more stereotypical aluminum balisong experience. You know, really light, pretty dang neutral, a little bit of momentum, but not really a whole lot. And then for the heavier weights, it's a bit heavier, and it just has a little bit more momentum to it. So some tricks might feel like they come around a lot easier and you're not having to put as much like oomph into it, but it's also a heavier balisong. I think your flow on the extrusion will depend on which weight setting you are more comfortable with. As for me, I like them both. Like last night, I pretty much just went back and forth between both of them all night, and I was having a grand old time. I haven't done a shortstop yet. That one was crazy. I almost dropped it like 4 times. Whew. Oof, man. Flipping these things just feels so good. And I love the way this silver looks when you're flipping. It looks so quirky. So in my first extrusion review, I said I would recommend this balisong if you don't really have a grip issue with aluminum. But if you do have a grip issue with aluminum, I think there's better choices out there. But now that the extrusion has been updated to be a hell of a lot more grippy, I would recommend this balisong to literally everyone. And like with this new extrusion, it's more environmentally friendly because, as I mentioned earlier, they produce a lot less waste making these because of the extrusion process they use. So yeah, I would highly recommend the new version of the extrusion if you're a beginner wanting to get into flipping, or if you're just already flipping but you want another balisong that's pretty affordable and really nice. It's the extrusion. Nabalis saved themselves quite hard on this balisong, and now that they kind of gave themselves a mulligan, I think we can maybe continue the streak of aluminum handled balisongs that are plenty grippy and flip really well. The version 1 of the extrusion kind of broke the streak, but since they mulliganed themselves with the version 2 of the extrusion, I think the streak has been restored and can carry on again. Oh, I just thought of something weird. No, not that. What was I doing? To this, to this, to that? Okay. Oh, that's a weird throw. Let's try it with the lighter weights. That feels kind of weird. Try that again. That's kind of quirky. I don't know if you guys can see me catching that. That's fun. I actually like that a lot. That feels so good. See it, Grandma. All right, friends. I think I'm done glazing up the new extrusion. I highly recommend it now.
What the fuck
Now I think it's a great choice for anybody looking for a budget balisong. A huge, massive GG to Nabalis for correcting like the one mistake they've made since I worked with them. And it wasn't even really a mistake. I thought it was just kind of too slippery for me, but I guess a lot of people thought the extrusion was really slippery, and they hit the redo button. And I'm pretty dang impressed with how quickly they responded to the community's input. That's very impressive. So a huge shout out to Nabalis for fixing the extrusion really quickly and turning it into just another one of the amazing balisong flippers that they offer for a very, very reasonable price. So huge thank you to Nabalis for sending this over to review and for making the extrusion a hell of a lot grippier, not just for me, but for everybody else. Real quick, before we go, I just want to give a huge shout out and a thank you to Cosmic Steez, A Horse Running, Jet, Solar Flare, Jan Chocolate, Bandage Knives, Sunil Verma, Rob Heath, Bad Joke Gaming, and DenDen's biggest fan. Those are my current channel members, and their support really does mean a lot. If you want to join these guys, get a shout out in my longer videos, get access to the occasional members only video, and just help support the channel in a bigger way, and you can go down there, click the join button. Tiers start as low as 3 schmeckles. And if you don't want to join a membership, but you still want to support the channel in that way, just as like a one-time thing, there is the super thanks button down there. It's like a little tip jar. But yeah, regardless if you guys do any of that or not, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. Once again, if you did enjoy, let me know. Help out the engagement on this video. Help me compete with all the other bigger balisong flippers on YouTube by leaving a like, leave a comment, give me your thoughts and opinions, share the video around, make sure you're subscribed. We are getting sexually close to 20,000 subs. Yeah, I'm done being a tool. Thank you to Nabalis for fixing the extrusion and for sending my dumbass one. And yeah, I'm done being a tool. I just said that. All right, thank you guys once again so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time.